listeners, welcome to another episode of Geekly Recap, where you can listen to us, Meryl and myself, Hover, get stuck into your favourite TV shows every week. The past 6 weeks, the focus has been on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So where will we go next? What film or TV show would you like us to look at? Get in touch at Geekly Recap Pod on our socials, Twitter, Facebook and Instagram, or head to our site, geeklyrecap.weebly.com.
It's been 6 weeks of watching another MCU beauty and listening to us both. Can you believe we're at the end of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier? We've been learning and admiring these Marvel shows debuting on Disney, but we can't wait to delve into other things as well. We hope we've also been able to educate you along with us, so stick around to see what will be up next before we obviously get to the next Marvel installment, Loki.
However, this week we will be diving straight into the finale of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We will discuss each scene as usual, point out the references you may have missed, and speculate where this will all go.
We've just had news of a Captain America 4, but will we get a second series of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Don't forget to join in with the discussion. Make sure you're following us on our socials at Geekly Recap Pod, and you can head to our website geeklyrecap.weebly.com to contact us. There you can also sign up to our weekly newsletter accessing bonus content.
Finally, make sure you're subscribed and let's begin.
Well, Harbour.
Hi again. I say hi again because I randomly disappeared from our chat.
We're in the middle of preparing this for you, and then I just hear bim bim, and she's gone.
My stupid laptop. We've been doing this for 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and I feel like the laptop's just getting worse.
It's dying.
It's dying. But it is my birthday next week. And if you guys are willing, I will accept donations to a new laptop.
And if that's successful, then I might start asking for some donations too.
But thanks for sticking with us for, 6 weeks.
I know. And if you're just joining us, go back and listen to the others because they're a hoot.
They are. And we're a hoot.
We are. We're very much a hoot. Is that a sentence? So we're on the final episode. Oh my God, we finally got here. Not finally, I say finally, but really it feels like it got here really quickly.
We were, I think, halfway through and I was already like, how? How are we here? And episode 3 was a very good episode. And even then I was kind of sad because I was going, oh, well, there's 3 episodes left of us to do this. And, it's not the end of us.
No.
It's just the end of this show.
Well, for now.
But yeah, we've found out that there is going to be a Captain America 4.
Yes, by the same head writer from the show, so...
Which excites me, if I'm being honest. I didn't think we were personally going to get a Captain America 4, but then it didn't surprise me with the announcement right after.
Well, he needs to have his own movie. He can't just be on TV.
Exactly.
The general consensus between Harbour and I is that we really enjoyed it, and I think from what I've mostly read from other people online, we had some disagreements, and that probably will come up as we're going through the recap.
Oh, it will definitely come up as we're going along.
But the one thing we both definitely agreed on, which we believe a lot of people weren't the fondest of, is what happened with Sharon Carter.
That was to quote Phoebe, this is brand new information. The fact that we all guessed it by episode 3.
Yeah, it definitely didn't feel like a reveal. I'm not sure if it was ever really meant to be a reveal or whether they assumed the audience was smart enough to have figured that out, but I was disappointed that it was that obvious.
I also wonder whether the pandemic impacted a lot more than we thought it impacted.
We read in Empire Online, they had an article about the pandemic in the season finale. They mentioned the vaccines that we saw in episode 2.
And we mentioned this about the GRC vaccines.
We mentioned them too, but in our heads, we don't know about you guys, the listeners, but we both realized that in our heads, we just assumed those were the serum. But we've since seen the serum and there's only 20 vials, not a truck full.
Yeah, why the hell are there crates?
So Empire seemed to think it was an abandoned storyline about a virus, and it had something to do with what happened to Mama Donya.
Because it was claimed that she had TB, and I remember saying to you, if she's got TB, that's incredibly contagious. What the hell was Carly doing there?
Yeah.
And you went, well, maybe it's the super serum and she can't catch it, which would make sense. But then having read that Empire article, for me, it also filled in the blanks, and I just went, oh, possibly they had to change a hell of a lot more than we thought. And I think episode 5 and 6 in particular shows that.
Kind of want to read the original scripts and see what was meant to happen.
I know, because we absolutely loved episode 4. I think that was the episode where we kind of went, okay, we can see how they're rushing it. Like, we knew it was happening, But I think that was the episode where we both felt like, okay, we can see it closer now, but we're not going to moan about it because we're enjoying it. And episode 4 was a fantastic episode.
Yeah.
But I think 5 and 6 felt a bit disjointed, and that might be where they actually had to just pick it up after however months they had off.
Yeah, maybe. A lot of reviews seem to be calling it quite messy and disjointed. So it's not just us that even though it was good, we could see that there were some things that probably didn't quite go as well as they could have. But that's fine. The whole show for me has been a little bit, yeah, it was great. If only they'd just done this. But I think it could have just been fixed with more episodes.
That's 100% agree with you. I think that was the main issue, was it needed more than it got. However, saying that, these are two characters that we were both so excited to see. I've bloody well enjoyed it. That sounded so English to say. I bloody well enjoyed it.
It was jolly good.
It was so good to see them, and I am definitely going to miss not tuning in next week now.
Now I wouldn't mind an episode where they're fixing a boat. I'm not going to lie. Now I'm like, now you've sorted things out. Chill. I would be happy to watch an episode where they go out on the town. It's fine.
And oh my God, that food. Oh, it looks so good.
I was like, I'm glad I can't smell it.
But should we begin?
Yeah, let's begin.
So this is episode 6, and it is called One World, One People. I have to admit, I almost wanted this episode to be called The Whole World Is Watching, just because I felt like the whole world was watching Sam become Captain America. It almost felt more fitting.
I suppose, but you know that the origins of The Whole World Is Watching is from like civil rights movements and stuff. So it's about negativity. It's about people are catching people who shouldn't be doing stuff, doing things that they shouldn't be doing. Did I just say that in a really weird way? Probably.
I got what you meant. But then One World, One People is also meant to be a very positive
it is, but
sentence, but it's coming
the flag
from
smashers.
Exactly.
So yeah, as Harbour said, it's called One World, One People.
And it is also directed by Carrie Scogland, which I am interested just because of the film. Are they going to stick with her, or are they looking at another director?
I don't know. It depends, I guess. I just keep expecting the Russos to direct everything
I know.
now.
I mean, her credits, from what I remember, only include TV shows.
It's mostly TV, wasn't it? Good TV, but mostly TV, I think. The episode was written by Malcolm Spellman, who is the head writer, along with, I want to say Joseph. It's written different, so it's either Joseph or Joseph Sawyer. He's known for SEAL Team.
Oh, that's with David Boreanaz.
Yeah, and 88 Proof of Concept. So he hasn't done a lot. They've given a lot of people that haven't done a lot a chance in the show. If you have a season 2, guys, you can hire me as a writer. Me and Harvey would be happy to write an episode.
100%.
Oh my God, how cool would that be?
I'm also a sound mixer in my day job, so, you know.
And I also edit, so we're right here, ready. How cool would that be?
That would be amazing.
So the synopsis for episode 6. As the Flag Smashers escalate their efforts, Sam and Bucky take action.
First shot of this episode, who do we see? Carly. It ended with obviously the GRC being infiltrated, a lot like Hydra, and she basically rounds up the Flag Smashers, the main lot that we see, and she says it's time.
You can see that they're all kind of in their positions as well.
You hear the reporter basically explaining that the GRC in Manhattan is on lockdown. They say that the group seeking to stop the GRC vote is about the global resettlement. And Falcon over the radio says he's almost there. I just wanted to point out, we're in the middle of New York City. We're in Bucky's hometown here. I was actually thinking, where the hell is Spider-Man? Or anyone else that lives in New York City at this moment?
I thought the same thing. I was like, really? No one else is aware of this? What's going on with everyone? This is set, 6 months or something after Endgame, right?
Yeah.
Was it around the same time that Spider-Man would have been in Europe?
Oh, like he can't fly there quickly.
Oh, he was dealing with his own stuff.
I can't remember when that was set now.
Me neither. Oh, well.
Where the hell was everyone else?
I know.
If anything, where was War Machine? We've already seen him in episode 1.
See, and maybe another thing to do with the pandemic. Maybe he was meant to appear again. Because you said that you read something back in episode 1, you said this, where he's meant to be like a mentor or something.
Yeah,
mentor
to Sam.
We only flipping saw him that one time.
That's
Not
true.
much of a mentor. So yeah, probably maybe pandemic related. Bucky and him are communicating over radio. And Bucky has authority.
I know. We finally got to see him in action.
I know. I was really happy because, like, you're so used to seeing them doing their own thing.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what to expect. So when they actually stepped aside and said Sergeant Barnes, I was like,
not that it choked me up, but it kind of hit me. Because imagine how it feels for him to be heard that.
Yeah, it's true. He had a lot of things, I think, in this episode he hasn't heard in either a long time or ever.
That was so nice to see, because we forget he was an incredible soldier. We were told he was an incredible soldier.
Yeah, no, obviously he was a good guy. He's just had so many years of being a villain of sorts. So it must be so nice to finally hear that he's respected and seen as a non-threat.
He still fought for this country, and people forget that.
Yeah.
I love you, James.
So, as he's let through, Sam does mention that he called him for backup. I was quite disappointed that by that he meant Sharon.
I genuinely did think it may have been War Machine.
Yeah, or someone. I was like, oh, are we going to get a new cameo that no one talked about just so we could all be like, oh my God. But no, it was just Sharon. She had that face technology thing, which would be such a cool thing to own.
I
Oh my God, I
know.
would use that in evil ways.
I did also just go, Natasha did it first, you bitch.
Carly sees him and basically tells them that he's there, so they should get started.
It was almost like she was waiting for it to happen.
I know, I just hate her so much. But anyway, they throw one of those sort of gas canistery things where Batroc had that suitcase full of those little balls. So they're using one of them.
Just smoke bomb, yeah.
Smoking everybody out. And they're trying to get them to leave the building, which Falcon realizes. But they see a flag smasher who stops them. And at that moment, we finally get to see what the hell was in that case.
I'm sure a lot of people cheered. Very, very similar to the one he has in the comics. It was designed by Carlos Pacheco, I think it's how it's pronounced, and it first appeared in 2014 in the all-new Captain America.
I wasn't too fond of some parts of it, but it is from the comic, so I'm not gonna judge. So yeah, as Harvey said, he bursts through and he's throwing his shield around, knocking people out with his shield.
Did you notice that the music is all heroic, which sounds different to his Louisiana theme, so this is obviously a different theme.
It's the same music we've heard at the end credits, because we've heard this loads.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Is it the same one here? Oh, it might be.
Yeah, it just hasn't got the blues guitar in it, but I think it was the exact same, but it was, like you said, it was done in a lot more superhero da-da-da-da sort of thing. Which
very
is cool.
Theatrical.
Yeah.
This is where he says the words.
When I watched it yesterday, I thought it was funny because it felt like he grunted it out to sound a bit more tough. But it may have just have been because, he did just smash through a window and he was a bit tired.
He was a tad out of breath.
But yeah, he calls himself Captain America, and it made me laugh because the guy goes, I thought Captain America was on the moon.
Sounds like something I would say.
But again, they're bringing it up. It does make you wonder, is it just a joke or is something going to come of that? It's probably just a joke, but we can all hope that he is.
They're leaving so much open, which is also very smart for future projects.
And it is interesting that they wouldn't just announce that he had died.
You would have assumed that they would have wrapped that he was dead by this point.
Yeah. So Sam realizes what they're planning on doing and he tries to keep everyone inside. And Batroc comes at him.
I have to admit, watching Batroc move is like art for me. I mean, I don't mind MMA. It's something that I've always wanted to do. I don't watch enough of it.
I don't like the character. I think he's fine. He definitely looks like he's there and having a laugh.
It's like he's enjoying himself. He's not the big baddie. He's just one of the scum that's about. This bit did make me laugh though, and I don't know whether you wrote it down. What Sam says to him after he says, "You cost me a lot of money."
Oh, about the baguette and some French fries or something.
It was when he said, "I wonder how much I can get for your new bird costume." And Sam goes, "Maybe a baguette and some French fries."
Please, we'll get you more than that.
I wonder how much French fries I could get.
Oh my God. I'd die with the French fries I could probably get for that. But who the hell would give me French fries for this? Like, where am I going? McDonald's?
I'm not... Maybe something a bit classier.
Well, you know what I mean, though. Like, who am I approaching going, I can't pay you, but I do have this Captain America Falcon costume?
I don't know, but imagine putting those French fries in that baguette. Oh my God.
Now, you know what? I want some cheese in the baguette.
Yeah, cheesy fries in the baguette.
Nah, I feel like it's ruining it. Just cheese. I like fries, but I'm not a big fan of the cheesy fries. They usually put crap cheese on fries.
Yeah, but I'm talking about good cheese. If we're keeping it French, I'm talking about brie.
Oh yeah, I was imagining brie. Oh my God, I want a brie baguette now.
Oh. Onto the show.
Yeah, so Carly seems to have eyes on everyone
This is where Sharon sets off the metal detector, and Bucky says to her, I'm going down the east stairwell. And Carly knew where he was heading, which makes me think, could she hear what Sharon was saying? Did they have something going on?
When Sharon confronts Carly at the end, I didn't get the feeling that they were both hanging out.
Well, how did Carly know where he was going? Was it because she could hear what was being discussed between him and Sharon?
That makes more sense, but I still don't know why she would be able to tap into what they were saying.
Oh, again, unless if something else was cut that we don't know. And Sharon did definitely set that off on purpose.
Yeah, I don't really know what the point of it was. So yeah, at this point, Carly calls someone, and it's this woman in a business suit, and she stops Bucky and says Carly is on the phone for him. Now, this bit annoyed me. When I first watched it, I just went, oh, repetitive crap. But really, I was like, it's a phone, it's a mobile phone, right? Why wasn't he walking while he was talking to her on the phone?
I know, I don't understand why he stopped to have the conversation.
She was just trying to stall you, and you're an idiot that actually let her stall you. That bit still seemed a bit half-assed to me, because it sounded like what he'd said to John in episode 5 at the beginning. That's when I said to you, this is all repetitive crap I don't need to hear again. Because it was a bit like, if you're going to make Bucky be someone who could talk someone down, have him say something different. He repeats himself a lot. I feel like they copied and pasted a lot of his dialogue in this series.
Yeah.
You could do drinking games based on the lines that Bucky has.
Yeah, the whole, does the ends justify the means? Although he changes the words slightly.
The shield, and the wrong path. Oh my lord.
The shield thing, we've established this before, I would say exactly the same thing. I wouldn't let it go.
Yeah, but we know that that's you.
Well, maybe he's also got an OCD thing, okay? We've seen him polishing his hand.
Hey, if I had a hand like that, I'd be polishing it too. Actually, that's a lie. It would so be crusty and horrible. Not crusty. But it would definitely have like ketchup stains on it or something.
Going back to the French fries.
So the GRC are being loaded into police vans. One of the guys that is one of the flag smashers, he's one of the guys that leading them in, and he puts like a really big security lock on them.
It's like a gadget.
They're not getting out anytime soon. Sharon follows and watches. She doesn't really stop them or anything because she's a bitch. So at this point, we go back to Batroc and Sam fighting, and Batroc is kicking his ass. Sam's obviously not that strong, and he's still kind of getting used to what his suit can do. And
exactly. And I'm assuming not a lot of time has passed since he was training, that we saw in episode 5.
So yeah, the cars start to move, and that's when Bucky turns up with the motorbike, and Sharon's like, you had one job, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what does she mean by that?
To not let them out.
Yeah, but she was there watching. She could have also done that.
Yeah, I know. But because obviously he didn't make it to the stairwell, did he?
No. So she has something in her hand with like a little yellow light on it. Goes and bumps into this guy who's apparently called Lennox. And it's like, oh, sorry. And we don't realize what she's done until he gets into his own car and then crashes. And his face is all like acidy burning. So she's
there's
killed
a
him.
muffled explosion.
Yeah, I read the thing. You probably read it too. So she called it a mercury vapor.
Yes.
I read that it feels like the dust that the Red Skull used during the Mark Grimwald era of the comics to kill people, which left them looking like Red Skulls.
Interesting. It's a shame we didn't actually see that.
I know.
I'd have loved to see Red Skull use that. I loved the way Hugo Weaving looked in the first film.
Oh yeah, that was fantastic.
Credit to the makeup team.
Yeah.
The hostages are also being loaded in the helicopter that we see at this point as well.
And obviously we know that one of the flag smashers is the pilot. Sam and Batroc are still fighting, but there was a really cool moment I liked because he he throws the shield. And at that point, Thingy throws a chair, wherever it was.
Yes, into the shield.
Yeah, and so it knocks the shield to the floor. And so it's kind of on the floor, and he does a really cool thing where he kicks the shield into Batroc's face.
Yes.
Which I thought was cool.
Because if people forget, Sam's not a super soldier. He's having to, unlike John, who took the serum and still relied on the shield.
Yeah.
Sam doesn't have all the power. He's got the gadgets on him now, which makes him more powerful, probably more powerful than his regular Falcon suit. But, he's taken on an actual fighter.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first big fight he's gotten into as Captain America anyway.
Did you mention it last week? His first fight was against Batroc.
Yeah, one of his first fights,
Yeah.
I think, in that Captain America comic that you mentioned, it was against Batroc, yeah.
So that's fun.
He does manage to get the upper hand with Batroc and kind of uses his rocket thing at the back. What do you call that?
I would just say, yeah, jetpack.
Jetpack thing to kind of push, kick, whatever he did, Batroc through a door. And then he ain't got time. He ain't got any more time for this guy. So he says, au revoir. He doesn't say like I did. And then goes flying out the window.
Yeah.
I wish I had those wings. They look like fun.
They looked amazing.
Yeah.
Like, well designed.
So this is when he goes after the helicopter, which has just taken off. And God, that guy is really reckless in the way he's flying it, right?
I know. I genuinely thought he was going to smash him into the river. I'm assuming he was waiting for Carly's call. And if it meant that she was going to kill them, he would take himself out along with them.
But look how reckless he was flying it. I mean, that was terrifying.
Yeah.
If I was on that, I would have thrown up everywhere.
On him. But I bet you cheered when you saw who Sam had with him.
I know, I did. I was like, I actually wrote, yay, Red Wing! I kind of wish they made him a bit cuter.
Oh my God, it's like a little mini rocket. Did you want googly eyes?
Hey, if I was Shuri and I had to make this, I would have made Red Wing even cuter. I would have actually made him like a little bird that goes,
Oh my God.
who's with me? That
Just
would be
her.
such a cute little animated
Just her.
series. Aww. Anyway.
But he does tell Red Wing to have a look in the helicopter to see if there's anyone that can actually fly. And they spot one.
Carly and the others are outside. They're trying to discuss the next step. And this is where Carly says if they have to, they'll kill the hostages. And one of the flag smashers doesn't really talk against her, but says, we were supposed to use them to negotiate. And she says to stop the vote. Like she corrects her. Like that's literally all they were being used for, to stop the vote.
Yeah.
And she only cares about getting her message out to the world, however it's done. And she tries to get everyone on her side by saying, one world, right? Waiting for them to go, one people. And they don't. So she looks angry. And then they say it. They're such wusses. I mean, come on.
This bit did kind of bother me because we've been seeing how, especially, I keep mentioning Dovich, but it's because him and Carly have had more scenes together.
Yeah.
I would say he's probably second in command to her, or it seems that way. So if anyone's going to speak up, it's going to be him. And yet he stands there silently.
Why are they so scared of her? They all have the super serum. I know that she's the leader, but at the end of the day, she's just a kid and she's reacting. She's not thinking clearly.
I really wanted her to be bitch slapped. And the thing is, initially when we saw this character, I thought, you know what, this is pretty cool. I hate to say it because I think overall the writing hasn't been terrible.
No, it's had some really great bits, but
her character.
Yeah.
I know we're not meant to like a villain, but she really did not become likable or even relatable. And she was meant to be a relatable villain.
At the beginning, I mean, obviously we know she's a villain. She's doing bad things and she shouldn't do them. But they really made a whole show about it being a very grey area. And Sam kept that going even into this episode. But why was she so rushed to be that bad? I mean, all right, Nico got killed, but not by loads of people. It wasn't by an organization. It was by one guy who, you killed his friend. So he was just reacting. So I don't know where this extra anger came from because it was personal to him, but it wasn't something a government did to her. So it just seemed like such a rush. I get that she did something to stop them and instead they tried to speed up the whole process. But why is that the only thought that goes into her head? We have to stop them by killing them.
This is where, after we now read about the whole vaccine thing, I think there's a whole area we don't know about.
Yeah, which is a shame. Even if they said it in passing, that would have been quite good.
Yeah.
I just wanted a better writing for a character that I thought might actually be someone who, even though wasn't a good person, let's say, was cool. You know, like...
No, I agree with you there. I
just wanted to like her as a villain. But instead I just went, kill her already.
She went on for too long.
Yeah. And she had way too much power for who she was.
Yeah.
Anyway, an NYPD helicopter is called out, I guess, to try and stop it. And he's not successful. I felt really sorry for the guy in that helicopter as well.
I did, yeah.
But don't worry, guys, because Falcon, or Captain America,
and Red Wing,
to the rescue, yeah. I thought that was a cool scene.
That was a very cool scene. And I think this is where we kind of go, oh, it's his wings may be made out of vibranium.
Oh, yeah, well, they gotta be. It'd be a bit rubbish if they just gave him crappy wings.
Aluminium.
In Wakanda, I expect the best.
I mean, they've got plenty of it, right?
Exactly. So, yeah, he pulls out the pilot from this helicopter that he's not going to be able to stop because, he's not Superman. He can't actually just stop a helicopter. And they land on this bridge, and then he pushes the guy out of the way because the helicopter's coming straight for him. And then he does that cool thing where he uses the shield and his wings to cover him, which that was so cool.
That was amazing. And it kind of obviously reminded me just hot off the back of WandaVision, her using the force shield.
Yeah, same. But also, we start noticing that people are taking notice of this stuff happening around the city.
Yeah, I mean, it's Manhattan at the end of the day.
And there's people on the bridge that are applauding him. And that bit made me think of Spider-Man.
Yes, Sam Raimi's.
Yeah, Sam Raimi's.
Yes.
Because they had a lot of that. If you guys remember, that was pretty quick after 9/11. So that it felt really meaningful to have New York coming together with this hero. And there was a scene, I think it happened in both films, but in the first film...
Well, there's 3. I just don't think you want to talk about 3.
No, but I don't remember a scene like this in part 3, but maybe I've just blocked it out. But in the first one, there's the scene with the school bus or something, right?
Yes.
On the bridge, and everyone starts to throw things at what was it called? The Green Goblin.
Yeah. You've forgotten. Harry's father, Willem Dafoe.
So they start throwing it at him. And in the second movie, obviously, he stops that subway train from crashing, right? And the public help him. So it was a really nice moment like that, which I thought was necessary. So, bravo.
When we later see it as well, everyone coming together for Falcon as Captain America.
Yeah. So the Flag Smashers put up roadblocks as they see the trucks coming. And Carly kicks out a driver and then gets in the truck. And this is where Bucky's with his motorbike and he comes in to stop them. Now, there's a similar scene in Captain America Winter Soldier with Steve Rogers, right?
Yes.
But to me, when I watched it, even though I watched that last week, I didn't think of that moment necessarily, but I did feel that it reminded me of the Winter Soldier's first appearance in Winter Soldier. When he attacks Samuel L. Jackson's, Nick Fury's
his car.
And that bit, it kind of made me think of that scene, but I was like, man, if this was that Winter Soldier, he would have killed all of those Flag Smashers.
I know. You kind of almost wish Bucky still had this in him.
At that moment, I wish Zemo went, a freight car. Just do it.
Because if Bucky was the Winter Soldier at this point, Carly would have been long gone. Having said that, I will say this again when we get to it, but this whole scene in the middle of Manhattan on the road also reminded me a lot of Joker and Batman in The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Including just the way, obviously, Captain America does the same thing with the bike. And watching him flip over, I thought, remember the massive lorry just flipping over in Dark Knight and Joker's just standing there? I was like, oh my God, it's like the same thing, but it's not. And that's one of my favourite films, so...
Yeah. I feel like up to now, I might be wrong, so feel free to correct me, Harvard, or the listeners. But a lot of Marvel fights are in the day, even in the films. So this was quite dark for them. I don't think it happens that often.
Yeah, no, good point, because I don't remember a nighttime fight right now.
There must be one somewhere, but I don't remember it off the top of my head. So I think they have a lot of fights in the day.
Maybe that's why I enjoyed it more.
Maybe. So yeah, Carly looks frustrated because obviously Bucky's come in and stopped them from doing what they were planning on doing. So she gets out of the truck and says, we need a diversion. Give him someone to rescue.
And then, did you notice she got really northern here? She went light it up. I was like, where did that come from?
Can you imagine how cool that would have sounded coming from someone who was like, light it up?
She's not that strong with everything else, which makes me think...
Maybe she toned it down.
And then that just slipped in. Light it up. Because you imagine, fag out of the mouth, a cigarette for you American listeners.
I was going to say.
A cigarette. And she's like, light it up, love. And a custard cream and a cup of tea in her hand.
Why are you saying that now? I want some.
And you know it's from Yorkshire.
Oh, Yorkshire tea. I want a cup of tea now. What are you doing?
I know, me too.
So they start pouring petrol or gasoline for Americans.
Have to specify.
On the trucks, and they load it up.
I actually cheered for what's coming up, and I can't believe I did because I was so glad.
Bucky did actually do the rescue thing, so he stops fighting to go and try and open the door.
Morgantha! Less gravelly than that, and more manly.
I wrote in my notes, it's John, baby! That's the first time I've ever written.
Considering we've not liked this guy at all. And just, what's just happened?
You know what? This is one of the things that annoyed me with Carly, though. Like, if you're going to be horrible in general, just be horrible and own it. But she looks like her little innocent face appears, right, when she sees him.
Yeah.
And she's like, I didn't mean to kill your friend. I don't want to hurt people that don't matter. And when it did that, I paused my thing and I cackled because I was like, you've just said to him that his friend doesn't matter.
This is it. When I heard it and she said that, right before he even said anything, I just thought, if you had said this to me, I would kill you. It was one of those things of saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. I know that's not what she meant.
I know what she meant, but are you serious?
Yeah. I think it's because she saw what he did to Nico. There was fear in her that going.
Yeah, but she could fight him, so I don't know what her problem was.
She could fight him, but if it still came to the crunch and them two were fighting, I think he would overpower her.
Well, they were fighting and she kicked him in the head. This is the problem I had with this, right? Like, don't get me wrong. I get they both got the serum, blah, 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 right? At the end of the day, he's already at peak fitness and she's just a kid. How is she tough enough to handle him?
I don't know.
I would have thought that him still having muscles would have actually given him the edge.
That's what I would think, considering how, he fought off Bucky in the previous episode. We still saw the serum working on his psyche in this. And he seemed to regain more control of himself in this episode. However, if we're talking episode 4, John having just taken the serum, Carly would not have survived. I don't care how strong she is.
I was interested in the fact that they dealt a lot with his psyche in this episode. There were moments where the camera really got close with his eyes.
I absolutely loved the way this episode was shot.
Yeah.
There are so many moments, even when he's on the ground or he's kneeling and you've got this close-up shot over his shoulder or by his face and everything else seems out of focus. And I just thought this is done so well.
I thought that was interesting because I don't know, is that the serum affecting him differently? I mean, do the Flag Smashers have these feelings? They seem to be pretty in control. I know they've had it for longer, but
yeah,
I don't know. It made me wonder whether this was just so we can see that he's actually fighting against something.
It does feel like he is fighting against something because he's damaged I hate that word, but.
No, but he is. Like, they haven't seen what he's seen. She's just a kid. She hasn't experienced anything. She thinks she's had a hard life. But he's actually been to war and seen horrible things. And there is a darkness there. Poor guy. A lot of moral choices as well.
Yes. Like everything he's obviously had to fight through war. It's come out of vengeance. He can't just put it to the back of his mind now. I feel like it's just there.
I think there's things that are triggers for him. And I hate saying that word, but there's triggers for him. And he's really fighting against what's right and what's wrong. And you know that that's been a thing with him. Because even from the moment he took on the mantle, he was very much aware of what it would mean to be Captain America. So even if he hasn't quite got what it takes, he definitely understood the weight that would be on his shoulders. He just didn't handle it well because, I mean, I can't blame him. I mean, if someone went and killed you, Harvard, I'd probably go and smash their heads in with the effing shield if I could.
Aww, thank you. Oh, I would do the same to you, obviously, and I'm not just saying it because you said it.
I said it first, though, so I mean it more.
I think we'd make a badass tag team.
I guess so. Would we?
Well, I say that.
We need the serum first.
And then I thought, actually, if this really was a zombie apocalypse, I'd probably have to find a way of saving you because you'd just want to run, whereas I'd want to take them head on.
I'd want to run up until a certain point and then just be like, you know what? Just kill me. Bucky is still struggling to open the door, so it's a really tough door. But he does manage to open it. Or one of them anyway. While he's getting people out, one of the people, I guess one of the last people, actually stops and goes, "Thank you for saving us." And I wrote in my notes, "Aww."
That recognition on Bucky's face. Because God knows if he's ever been thanked for anything. Obviously, I don't even think you would have been at war because, you're just fighting alongside people. John, unfortunately, is getting his ass kicked right now. I noticed, I didn't realise where he did put the medals, but it's on the back of the shield.
On the back, okay.
Yeah, so when he's holding it up and Carly's like smashing onto him, he sees it.
Yeah, he kind of focuses on it, right? But I kind of like that because it kind of makes you wonder when he's looking at that. I mean, he put it on there for a reason, and maybe it's to remind him that he can do good.
I think that's why it's on the back. Because I initially thought he was going to stick it on the front. But then, you know, his shield is super dented because it's not vibranium. And I just thought after hours of work, if that's what happened to my shield, I'd be so annoyed.
Hey, his still look way better than mine would have if I attempted that. But yeah, I feel like for him, he's just really, I think he really believes in what that shield represents, which is why it was such a big deal for him, because he's got the serum now. He really doesn't need it. But he likes, I think, with the symbolism of it, and that's why he wanted it.
It's a massive responsibility for anyone holding it.
That shield definitely wasn't really very strong, though.
Dovich goes to hit, I think, Walker, and then Bucky punches him. It's like, no, you're not hitting Walker when he's down. And then he picks up the parking meter thing and it starts to fight him. As Bucky drops down, he's attacked. I think he was attacked by Carly. She like picked up, I think it was the parking meter. I don't know what the hell it was. But the way he grips as he's about to fall down reminded me of him holding on for his life in the first Avenger before he fell off the train. And also it reminded me, but I can't remember of the scene, maybe it was in Civil War, Black Panther uses his claws, and I remember seeing the close-up of his hands.
All right, yeah. I just remember thinking, though, he needs to find some kind of grip for those, because it's the second time he can kind of grip but not quite hold on.
No.
He needs to get something updated there. But the helicopter, oh my. Finally, we're going back to the helicopter. This has been going on a bit. So Falcon, you know, as we said, he's found a woman, or a person on it, but it is a woman, that can fly the helicopter. So he's, with his skills, he sends her a text message that tells her to put on her earbuds. I remember thinking, God, it's lucky that she had her earbuds on her, because I'd be like, hold on, I have to go into my bag. Like, she just had them to hand, as you do. So she puts them on. And he's managed to say, I hear you can fly a plane or something like that. But Diego, or whoever it was that was flying the plane, just kind of knocks into Falcon, and Falcon falls into the water. And he flies out, and he's really annoyed now. He's like, you're going to get a ass whooping for that.
Yeah, boy, you just earned this ass whooping.
Yeah.
I did say he rises like a phoenix.
But John does fight Carly individually. And you really think that he might actually get the upper hand on her. But unfortunately, she's quite quick. I don't know where she got these skills from. Because even if I had the strength, I don't think I'd be able to fly kick people. But she does fly kicking.
Yeah, I wonder how
in
much
the head.
training she's gone through.
Yeah, because in the comics, if you remember, I said to you that the Carl Morgenthau had martial arts training.
Yeah. Unless this is something that Sharon taught them.
Maybe. So there is another truck. And Carly gets into the other one and drives off. Bucky's down in the bottom, and he's still fighting Dovich, isn't he, down there? And Carly jumps out of the truck as the truck goes off this kind of scaffolding thing.
Yeah, it was like a half-built building.
Yeah. Bucky can see it from above, so it'll probably just fall on them. And Sharon's just watching with the public, so there's like a public that's just standing around looking now.
Did it not bother you that on a few occasions she's watching?
Oh, yeah,
she's
but
not
I guess
doing
this was
anything.
the sign that she's, up to something.
This wasn't just, I should be in hiding. This was, I'm seeing it, but I'm not going to bother helping.
I know, I'm surprised
Anyone
she
else
didn't
would
turn
have.
up with like some popcorn or something.
The Vintage Valkyrie is an amazing little shop that can be found on Etsy. The super lovely owner makes handcrafted jewellery and cards inspired by films, TV, books and games, and she's appeared at a major Comic-Con here in London.
She's just made a Captain America shield greeting card, which looks amazing, and she's uploaded it to her shop, so go check it out.
She's even made a Captain America bracelet. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
She makes other pieces too, inspired by Dungeons & Dragons, Back to the Future, including the flux capacitor earrings, which we both own.
Yes.
Final Fantasy, Harry Potter, and much more. You can find them all there for your geeky needs, or your friend's geeky needs, or your girlfriend's geeky needs, whoever needs them. Treat yourself.
What's great is that she's also open to custom pieces, so we highly recommend her shop. She's talented and puts her heart and soul into each and every piece, so defo check out her shop, The Vintage Valkyrie, on Etsy, and make sure you shop small.
It's important to help these businesses out, especially in times like these. And as a little gift from us and The Vintage Valkyrie, you can receive a 10% discount on the shop now if you use the promo code GeeklyRecap in capitals.
Woo!
So this is the moment where John has a big moral dilemma. And me and Harper, I think we kind of had different first impressions of this scene. But
No, you say your bit, and then I'll say mine.
Okay. So John's looking at the truck that's about to go off this scaffolding with however many people in it. And there's Carly on the left. And he's like, all right, do I save these people or do I go after Carly? And he's literally struggling at this moment. Like, okay, like, what is he thinking? And in the end, the way we know what he's chosen to do is we see his shield fall to the ground and the truck being pulled back. Now, when that happened, when I watched it the first time, I paused it and I got a little bit emotional because I was so proud of him.
You weirdo.
I think because all this time I didn't want his character to just be a dick because I was like, look, that's not possible. He's been surrounded by good people all his life. He's not just going to be a horrible person. So for him to do that, I was like, he's not a lost cause. That would have been, okay, yeah, he should have gone after Carly, I suppose. But look, she already kicked his ass the first time. He probably wasn't going to be able to do anything. He would have gone flying off as well as a truck. So he might as well at least have tried. He didn't even manage to do it because they all went on him. But it's the thought that counts. So it meant a lot that he was the one trying to save the day as much as he could.
Are you done?
Yes.
My problem, which isn't really a problem on his character here, it's again the way he was written. And unfortunately, I'm sorry, I'm going to sound like a broken record. So I love the fact that he chose to pull the truck instead of go after Carly, like you. My only issue was that we weren't given enough in this whole series of any goodness in him. Like you said, he's always surrounded by good people. So we know that there is obviously good in him. But he's been so filled with darkness and we've been given this whole villainous character that I just thought it was so out of character for him to do this. Having said this, on a second viewing after watching it and doing some research, I feel slightly different here. But in the comics, Walker faces a very similar dilemma as to what's just happened here. There is a scenario when he's serving with the West Coast Avengers, a sheriff begins killing Latin refugees who are sneaking into the US. Walker confronts him and has to make a choice as to whether he chases the sheriff down in the truck or whether he saves the refugee children, and he does choose the children.
Yeah, I mean, I read stuff too, and even in the comics, he's a guy that's really brutal, and he definitely does have some different views to others, and he has darkness in him. He's not necessarily written as a villainous character.
He wasn't given enough layers in the series.
We know that they rushed it. They rushed a lot. I'm going to praise Wyatt Russell again, because I think the way he has played it, if it had been other people that, like Carly, that didn't play it very well, I may not have bought it. But I think at that moment, it didn't seem out of character. Yeah, it was rushed. But I understood it because this whole time, as much as he annoyed the hell out of me and I ugged every single time he appeared on screen, because I remember I was watching this episode and just pausing it every now and then just to tell John to behave.
I did also notice, though, that as he does go to save the people on the truck, the key changes in his music as well, and it becomes a lot more heroic.
It didn't really last long because Carly and the rest of those idiots decide that they're going to stop him. Like, what is their problem? Like, talk about not thinking things through.
Look, we've already seen the other flag smashers just go, you know what, Carly, you're not right. They've not said it, but we've seen it.
And where are the police?
Useless?
I mean, they like going and shooting people when they shouldn't, so why not just shoot some flag smashers down? They're standing around.
Anyway, who comes to save the day?
Falcon! Oh, sorry, Captain America.
It's gonna happen a lot.
Yeah, he comes in. I mean, a very Superman kind of moment for me.
There was a few Superman moments.
So he's, obviously he's not as strong as the others, so it is a little bit of work for him, and he has the help of Red Wing and his little buddies attaching onto the truck to help. But no one else helps. He does it all on his own.
Did it also not remind you of Buzz Lightyear? I'm gonna make a meme of this.
So there's a bunch of people applauding, obviously, because he saved the day. And an old man goes, "That's Black Falcon." I don't know why I'm doing an accent.
That was a nice nod to what the kid had said.
Yeah, so it's the thing that is said. It's not just that little kid.
Yeah.
And maybe it's that kid's grandpa. Anyway, and a young guy next to him goes, "No, that's Captain America." I mean, that's where I wrote cheesy AF because I mean, yeah, it was nice, but I just was a bit like, okay, I don't know. It just seemed really cheesy.
Yeah, that bit was cheesy. For me, it was a proud moment almost for me, weirdly enough. It was when I saw Bucky smiling up at Sam. That was the bit that kind of hit me. Because I guess at the end of the day, we've grown with Bucky, obviously, since the first Avenger, not with Sam. Sam came in during the Winter Soldier. Throughout, especially this series, it has just been like, well, Steve this and Steve that. And Sam, you shouldn't have given the shield away. So to have that proud moment, I was like, I'm almost proud for Sam.
I mean, it is cheesy. And I guess in this day and age, it feels really cheesy. But to be fair, I mean, I like cheese. And I mean, come on, one of my favorite things is like Superman the movie. And that I'm sure that's had lines like that. I mean,
we just notice it more in these kind of films and TV shows now.
I guess we're so cynical now.
But the music is quick to change here.
Oh God, Carly, just seriously, if she couldn't annoy me more, like she grabs a stick or whatever and goes and throws it at Bucky, and you're just like, what is your problem? Like, calm down. He grabs it,
and she's almost like so disappointed in Sam here.
And she's like, I can't believe out of everybody. I can't remember if she's exactly how she said it.
Oh yeah, please do the accent.
Can I do it now? I always make her voice really deep. I don't even know why. I can't believe you of all people have bought into this bullshit. Shut up, Cal. That's how he should have responded, but he didn't. He said, I'm trying something new. You should do the same. He's so nice. I would have just flung the shield at her face again.
He is. And this is how I feel like Bucky's learning so much from him.
Be Captain America.
Hey, I think that's a reasonable response as Captain America. After that, we see that there's an explosion of smoke. And it's Batroc. He's back. And who else is also watching alongside with him? Again.
Sharon. But, you know, we know that she was in touch with him anyway.
Yeah.
But, you know, they can't stop Captain America because he's got goggles that can see through smoke and stuff.
I really enjoyed this scene with all them going underground.
Yeah.
It reminded me of me playing the video games that I've played for so long. And you're just like trying to follow a sound, or you're like, do I go into this room or do I go into that room?
I was really annoyed that you had Bucky being like, Sharon, we've gone underground. Like, shut up.
Yes, because he ended up revealing everything.
John's joined them to find Carly and the rest of them.
John's with Bucky.
Yeah.
You know what would have been even better for arty-farty reasons? If this whole bit underground was done in one shot.
Like the Daredevil fight or the old boy fight, whatever. Yeah, that would be great.
I almost wanted to see that because it was quite narrow corridors as well. Damn it, Carrie! You had one job.
I knew you were going to say that. So Carly is alone and...
Well, she's like, Dovich. I can't even do the accent. I can't do it at all. Dovich, is that you?
No, I don't know what you're doing with your voice. You have to be a bit heavier.
I can't do it.
Dovich. She's going
but yeah, now. She's like, Dovich, is that you? No, It's not, bitch.
No, it's worse. You wish it was Dovich. It's just Sharon.
It's just Sharon.
And Carly's like, I'm disappointed in you.
Funny, because that's what I was going to say. I don't know why Sharon sounds like that as well, but whatever. I'm not here to do accents, guys.
This is where we find that Sharon took Carly in and looked after her or whatever the hell she did. And yeah, so she's the power broker, apparently.
She said Carly betrayed her. And Carly's like, because you wanted to control a world that hurt you, I wanted to change it. I'm not interested in power or an empire. I have bigger dreams. To me, even that line, it sounded very childish to me.
It did. Naive.
I think the I have bigger dreams wasn't needed.
No.
That bit was a bit like...
But I kind of... Look, Carly was dead to me long ago, but she was even more dead to me by this scene. However...
Dude, how many times do I have to say I wish Zemo had killed her?
I know. But we really see that she really doesn't see anything wrong with what she's done. And that's a weird thing for someone to feel, but that happens. I mean, that's where
especially teenage angst.
Yeah.
I remember, I mean, I'm angry a lot of the time, but I remember being a teenager and very angry.
Yeah. And can you imagine you with the serum? Oh my God.
Yeah, God.
I don't think there'll be a world left.
I would be frightened of myself.
But yeah, Batroc turns up then, and that's when...
Well, he's heard everything.
Yeah, but Carly realizes that Batroc was sent by her.
You sent him to spy on me?
And Batroc's all about the money, because he finds out she's a power broker. He's like, give me more money or I'll tell the world. And she's like, I don't like blackmail, and then goes to shoot him. She doesn't kill him, but I think she just wounds him because I think it hits his shoulder.
Yeah, it hasn't been confirmed whether he's dead or alive. But Carly was holding a gun at Sharon still, so it's a double shot.
Sam hears the shot.
Why wasn't Red Wing flying about at this point?
I don't know.
I feel like Red Wing should have been in this room.
To be fair, though, if Carly saw it and broke it again, I would have broke her face.
That's probably why it wasn't there in the room.
Sam is doing the Sam thing. He's so lovely here because he really does not want to hurt Carly, but she's being a really crazy cow and just punching him and like basically begging him to fight her back.
Because I think she knows she's being the villain.
Yeah, she wants someone to fight her, so she's like, I'm defending myself.
Yes, but he's like, no, I'm not going to fight you, which makes her even angrier. I've had a few times where someone would say, stop shouting.
Oh, okay.
And the moment you say stop shouting, I start getting louder and I'm like, don't tell me how to act or react right now because I'm pissed off.
God, she really is like Carly. Jeez.
I'm better than Carly and you know it.
When people tell you that, like, not you, I'm talking about in general. Yeah. If people say, like, you're being irrational or calm down, that kind of stuff annoys me.
It makes it worse.
Yeah, because you just feel like someone's just trying to shut you up. And you're just like, no, I have even more to say. But I think if someone tells me to stop shouting, I go quiet because I realize, am I shouting? I didn't realize I was shouting.
Well, I know I've been shouting, but it's been a situation I've been angry.
The scene was very much like the scene at the end of The Winter Soldier. Having him try and fight and kill Steve, and Steve was not fighting him back. He was just trying to get him to stop. But that was an emotional scene.
Come on, girl, you're really going to be the one to kill this Captain America? Like, who the hell do you think you are?
I know, but she was really ready to shoot.
She would have done it.
There was no hesitation there, really. She went for it, basically.
This was a John moment.
Oh, yeah.
This is where she had no control. She would have done it.
There is a part of me that understands sort of where this character was, but if it was done better, I would have gotten her more. Like, I feel like it's there, but such a small nugget of it that I still just mostly hated her.
We were first introduced in the trailer to them going, these are the big baddies. And then as you're watching it, you're going, these aren't the real big baddies. And then it is, and then it isn't, and then it is. It was almost like they couldn't make up their minds on who they wanted to be the real villain. And it still didn't end up really being Sharon.
Yeah, because
But it did.
Yeah, but I don't think she's clearly not working alone anyway.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And then you thought John was going to be the real villain. And then he's not the real villain.
Maybe that was the whole point. Maybe they went, there is no villain.
No, but we need
a villain. Is the GRC.
Well, it still could be.
Still could be. But not in that way. I just mean generally by all the stuff that Sam said.
Yeah.
So, yes, as Harva said, Carly does get shot just before she shoots Captain America. Let's just call him Captain America now. And
Sharon.
But you do get the feeling that she does it more to silence her than anything else. Because when she shoots Carly, Sam is not happy with this. He actually looks quite annoyed that that's where it went.
You can't save everyone. He's just a nice person.
Sam immediately goes to cradle her. And this annoyed me because at this point I was done with her anyway. But she's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't like this.
Own it. You know, you just almost killed him and now you're apologizing. Why? Because are you just sorry because you didn't get to do what you wanted to do? Is that what you're apologizing for?
Yeah, now that you're finally staring death in the face and you're like, oh my God, this is the action I've done. I just thought, no. Because you went so far over to the dark side that even if you did feel remorse, that's not what you would say at that moment. Because up until that point, you showed none of it.
I just would have preferred her to stay silent and just look at him with that innocent face that she has. That, I think, would have said way more than her just going, I'm sorry.
I'm smiling because actually what you just said there kind of segues into the bit I wanted to go, which is the scene that happens in between this.
Okay.
So we noticed that Walker and Bucky have actually lured the Flag Smashers out. So this is my problem with Walker's writing. Walker actually pats Bucky on the back in this scene. I thought I saw it happen.
He's a bro.
No, he's not.
He's a bro.
Okay? He's not.
No, but
So-
like that's how John is. He bros people.
Shh.
Bro.
Shh.
What's up, bro?
So this is after he says mercy bears richer fruit than strict justice, which is a Lincoln quote.
Mm-hmm.
And Bucky says to him, Lincoln, really? Walker replies, great man. Bucky says, not when you say it.
Mm-hmm.
But he says it in a very humorous way, along with the pat on the back. We know they've got a common enemy right now, and you mentioned this. So I get that they've had to fight on the right side. That little jokey bruh moment just didn't fit in for me. Not from what we've just seen of John, whatever the hell he did to Nico, smashed his chest in, right? In episode 5, you had them fight him off. And okay, it's not like either of them wanted to have that fight. I think John wanted to have that fight a lot more, but just because he wanted to keep the shield.
Yeah.
And now you're just like, oh, well, you know what? Let's forget about this because we're fighting Carly and we're going to make a joke. For me, that did not fit in at all. And when you said maybe she should have given Sam a look, I felt like Bucky and John should have just had a look in this moment. Don't touch me.
I don't. That would have been a funny line if they were like, they talked, said a little joke, and then John touched him and he went, don't touch me. That would have been
I almost
funny.
wish he said that.
Yes, that would have been funny. But you'd have to ask the writers why they wrote it that way.
Oh, if I get a chance, I will.
Yeah, can we reach out to the writers and see if we can interview them for the podcast? Oh my God, the questions we would have.
Oh my God.
I don't know. For me, I just thought it's just a throwaway line. You know, he says a quote and Bucky recognizes it, so asks him about it. And that's it. Like, it's just, I don't even think they went off and went and had a beer afterwards. They just said those lines and that was it. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you necessarily, but...
But you're not agreeing with me, so you're wrong. I'm joking.
He's just happy he has bras. He wants a bro, man. He's lost his one bro.
I don't give a crap. You got more annoyed about the boat montage than I did and the throwaway line on the boat. This is my throwaway line on the boat.
My throwaway line on the boat was a major plot point they just decided to throw in one sentence. It's not the same as quoting Lincoln.
It wasn't a major plot point.
They were like, what are we going to do about Carly? That's like asking what we're having for dinner. That's how important they made that moment. Come on.
On the boat, it didn't fit, but it fit in when they were wielding the shield. That's where the line should have been.
Yeah. And again, though, like properly, like have an actual discussion about it rather than just one line about it. But it's not the same.
No, I'm just saying the way you reacted to that and the way I'm reacting to this is the same. You have got to listen.
I think I made a better point, though. I'm going to have to do a poll about this. No one's going to care.
Oh, my God, yes, please do a poll.
I'll do a poll, but no one's going to care. No one replies.
You better bleep and vote.
The next scene is Sam carrying Carly's body out. And that was quite beautiful imagery.
And this is where I write it's very Superman.
It actually almost looked like an angel.
Yes, this is what I was thinking. The way it was landing, it was so well done. And you actually appreciate his costume here, like the wings, the shape of it.
Yeah.
I almost wanted like a light on him or the moon shining right above him. Oh, the moon! It could be Cap watching Cap.
He's dropped off Carly to the ambulance. And the GLC, or the lady from the helicopter, thanks him, basically. And the senator's there and he's all like, oh, thank you for what you've done and we'll take it from here, sort of thing, and calls them terrorists. And Sam don't like that.
No. Even after the final episode, he is still only listed as the government official.
So I don't know what that means, because he's had quite a big part and they just haven't given him a name. Why? There's a reason. I'm confused as to why they wouldn't have named him.
They didn't even call him senator. Like, it's literally government official.
There's a whole big speech here. Whole big speech. And it's a nice speech. You know, he's like, what do you want us to call these people if not terrorists? And he says, your peacekeeping troops carrying weapons.
What do you think those people are going to call you?
And he says, these labels, terrorists, refugees, thugs, they are often used to get around the question, why?
She responds saying these settlements happened 5 years ago. And Sam's like, yes.
Sam thinks everyone should be helped because it's no one's fault that this happened.
Exactly.
Even though, we didn't know if those people would come back. It did feel like, based on what we've read, like, and heard, that the government's tightened everything, their purse strings, everything. Instead of what Thanos said, I mean, I'm not giving him any right now because obviously he was insane, but he was kind of like, you can share the wealth more if there's less people to have to do it with. And instead of that, they just tightened the purse strings and went, oh, we don't have to help these people that as much now. Like, what is that? And you could totally see the world doing that as well. They would definitely not go, hey, we've all got more money now. That would never happen. So, yeah, and now that they've come back, they're just like, oh, what, now we're responsible for them. It's not...
Well, that's your job.
I don't think the problem was the people that came back. It's the people that branched out.
Yeah.
Because that's why Carly's been pushed out, right? The people that came back got priority over where they used to live, all of that. So now the people that had moved out and gone to whatever country because they could are now being pushed out again. Like you said, the senator says stuff about not understand, like he doesn't understand. Shut up.
That really annoyed me, that line. It's almost like something that could be said to me or that could be said to you by anyone that hasn't been in our shoes.
Because he thinks it's a them problem. But you're like, but we're in the world. We're actually living this stuff every day. Sam lives in Louisiana. He was one of the people that left and came back. His family isn't getting the help they need. They're struggling. He is one of just everybody else who are actually having to deal with what has happened in the world. You guys are higher up with your money, and like he said, you've got all the ability to make a choice, like make a decision and change the world by a phone call or an email, and you know, you're not using it responsibly, and you're telling me I don't understand.
I wrote down what he said here, and he went, we finally have a common struggle. All the people who have been begging, literally begging for you to feel how hard any given day is, now you know. How did it feel to be helpless? If you can remember what it was like to feel helpless and face a force so powerful it could erase half the planet, you would know you're about to have the exact same impact. This isn't about easy decisions.
And he says, I'm a black man carrying the stars and stripes. What don't I understand? Every time I pick this thing up, obviously he means the shield, I know there are millions of people out there who are going to hate me for it. Even now, here I feel it. The stares, the judgment. There's nothing I can do to change it, yet I'm still here. No super serum, no blonde hair or blue eyes. The only power here is that I believe we can do better.
And this is where I wrote, Bucky watches proud again. It's that slight smile.
Now he knows that Steve was right about him, which means he was right about Bucky.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Those guys, I just want to hug them all.
I know. And yeah, he just says we can't demand that people step up and we don't meet them halfway.
We also see a glimpse of Walker, John himself, and there's like almost recognition or understanding that even he responds to what Sam has said and go, this is the right man.
I think he turns and he looks at Bucky at that moment, and I think he's learning too.
Yeah. It might even explain either some things that possibly may have been cut or things that weren't said between him and Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
He might get an understanding of how Lamar was overlooked.
Maybe.
Over all those times.
It's true. But you know what? At this moment, I don't know how you were, but when I was first watching it, I went, if they somehow cut to old Steve Rogers watching, I'm going to scream.
Well, there was a lot of rumours, but I was like, that's not going to happen.
But can you imagine?
So I wasn't disappointed.
I wasn't disappointed, but can you imagine? Imagine. Oh my God.
I think I genuinely would have cried. Sam turns round to the minister here and says, this girl died trying to stop you, and no one has even stopped for a second to ask why. You've got to do better, Senator. He says you've got to step up, because if you don't, the next Carly will. And he's like, you don't want to see 2.0. He says you people have just as much power as an insane god or a misguided teenager.
Because this is the thing, you do have to ask why. In all of these situations, because there's always a reason why this stuff happens. Even if they're being misled by someone who's got bad intentions. It makes a lot of sense that people would join in with the flag smashers. They might not have all been planning it to go to a violent place because that's not what they joined in for. But there's a reason why there's an uprising of these people.
And not just in this country.
Exactly. He goes, people believed in her cause so much that they helped to defy the strongest governments in the world. But anyway, he walks off and he joins Bucky. Well, he nods at John and then he goes to Bucky and Bucky says that he was busy texting, so he only heard about the black man with the stars and stripes.
You know what? That line was so well put. This was a throwaway line that worked.
Yeah.
The joke worked.
I wonder if it was an ad-lib. It probably wasn't though, but it felt like it could have
Well, they've
been.
had a few.
Yeah. He calls him, he says something like,
nice job, Cap. And he pats him on the back. That pat is allowed.
All right.
I hope John watched that and cried.
So they approach Sharon, but they don't know. They don't know that we know. I'm just joking.
They don't know that we know that they know.
They don't know, though. But, and she's been shot. Unfortunately, not fatally.
She's like, oh, it's not the worst thing that's happened this week.
I just wrote blah, blah because I didn't care. But, yeah, basically, they think she's cool. She's not going to the hospital. Anyway, and they leave. And Sam says, I haven't forgotten about my promise. And you're like, I wish you had.
The thing is, at the end of the day, she doesn't have a problem with them. It's with everything else. So she is the lead flag smasher.
Whatever she's got planned, I'm assuming it's not good. At the end of the day, they're going to be against her. They're not going to go, oh, we forgive you because you're Sharon. No.
No.
Especially when he realizes he's been used.
Exactly. I still think General Ross has got something to play in
Probably.
this.
That might have been the man on the phone. But yeah, flag smashers are being rounded up and be transported to the raft. And I was thinking, ugh, Zemo's going to have some company. No, he got rid of that. He's like me. He was like, I don't want company. So he got rid of them.
I know. I wouldn't want them there either. It'd be a lot harder to kill.
I know. So yeah, they get into the truck, and one of the guys that puts them in says one world, one people. And they're like, oh, we're okay because we got this guy. No, you're not, because your truck explodes. Woo!
And who is it?
It's Nick.
Yeah, it's Nick. I wrote Alfred because I couldn't remember, and then I just remembered.
Zemo's Alfred. But when I first saw it, because you see him in the car mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, I wrote, is he the real power broker?
Yeah, because I didn't actually quite recognize him.
And then it showed him properly. I went, oh no, but it's Zemo's guy.
Is he the real power broker?
Hey, you never know, man. Zemo's special. Anyway, so we go to the raft now, and Zemo's hearing the news on the radio, and he just smiles, no harm done.
To the camera, and I love that.
Yeah, because he looks out, and you are like...
Is he looking at the camera? It looked like it was directly at me.
It looked like it was meant to be us. He was breaking the fourth wall.
Mm-hmm. There were so many memes, by the way, of like, it was Sharon all along. And they were like, can they play the Agatha
If only
music?
it was as likable as Agatha, I would have been fine with it. Now we're at the courthouse or whatever that place is. I guess it's the
Weirdly
courthouse.
enough, yeah.
It looks like where he had his council meeting. So
it does look like the courthouse.
So Valentina is there pacing, and she's gotten a text alert or something, and she tells Walker to check his phone.
She's impatient, and I don't even know what Walker's doing at this moment.
But I love her here because she's still so cute.
She's perfect.
She says, our friend, Zemo. How does she know it was Zemo? Like, were they in on it together?
She knew.
Are they dating? I approve. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, look, in the comics, they do work together.
Yeah, so
I'm not saying they are now,
but you never know.
They do.
She's sort of like, I couldn't have planned something better myself. And she's like, or did I? Or something. And then she's like, no, I didn't. I'm joking. Or am I? I just loved it. It was just perfect.
I mean, she is a comedic actress.
She's just so great. She's so lovable, even though she's obviously not necessarily
Who knows
a good
what
person.
she's got? Look, this is either going Thunderbolts or Dark Avengers.
Exactly.
But
right now,
I'm going to have a blast watching her do it.
We don't even know what she is right now. Is she part of Hydra? Is she something else? Obviously, in the comics, she's kind of done it all. So who knows what she is right now?
Exactly.
But I love it, and I'm there for it.
It leaves it so open. That's what we said with this show. Not only does it leave it open for a season 2, a Captain America 4, it leaves it open because there's so many stories they could do with this one character, and we don't know which route they're going to take.
Seriously, I'd be happy watching a spin-off. Maybe Agatha and her, I'd just watch it. I don't even care what they're doing. I'll watch it. Mm-hmm. So he comes out, and he's wearing basically very similar to his original costume.
Yeah.
But the little star A thing on his head is gone. And it's black. And he kind of says it's the same, but it's black. And it's the same costume that US Agent wore in the comics.
Yeah. Both his and Sam's are so well done.
She says to him, and this bit's interesting, because she says, weird stuff is going to happen. What weird stuff is she talking about? And she says, we won't need a Captain America, but we're going to need a US Agent. Which is when he first gets called US Agent. Finally, the hashtag makes sense.
I know.
But what's the weird stuff that's going to happen?
This is where there's some rumours going around that is Sharon working for the Skrulls? Or is she a Skrull? And I'm wondering whether this weird stuff that's going to happen is still to do with all the weird space crap we're gonna get.
Maybe.
I say crap, but we literally don't know where they're going.
Yeah,
and she obviously knows more than she's letting on. And if they go by how closely linked she is with Nick Fury, she knows what's going on that side of the story. So
we kind of talked about this yesterday because we were like, well, does John understand what he's signed up for? I really don't think he does. He's just happy that he's being used. Like, someone wants him. He's useful. He's going to be able to go and do something with the serum that he's now gotten.
I get the feeling he thinks he's going to be the good guy, let's say. I don't necessarily think he's going to be the villain, but he's going to be that anti-hero almost.
I think if there was something negative and it was obvious, I genuinely think that John's wife would not have looked that comfortable. He thought he was gone. He thought he was like lost his medals. He lost everything, right? So now he's back. He's back,
so
baby.
He keeps repeating, I'm back. And this actually mirrors the cover of Captain America Volume 1, Issue 354, where the US agent debuts saying that line in costume on the cover and smashing through the Captain America name.
You know what made me laugh? When you left me a voice message and you mentioned he's back in black, and I immediately got the AC/DC song in my head, and I'm like, someone needs to make a music video. So now we're back in Manhattan or Brooklyn or wherever we are, and Bucky is finally going to see Yuri. Now, I had a problem with this bit.
I have a minor problem with this bit.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice moment, but it was just so short. I don't even know whether there was more filmed and they cut it, or that was it, because I would have been very disappointed if that's what the script wrote.
We don't need a full conversation. We don't need Bucky explaining to Yuri what happened.
He took off his glove. We didn't even see Yuri react to it.
Yeah. I liked seeing Bucky watch Yuri and the girl he had the date with in the restaurant. He didn't look happy. He looked content. Like, I've done what I needed to. I can relax because I've gotten it off my chest. Which makes me think Yuri forgave him, but we almost needed to see that. We just didn't really get anything.
You've seen Braveheart, right? Maybe once or twice. I can't remember how many times you've seen it.
Yeah, but a long time ago.
Okay, well, there's a scene. It's a funeral, if you remember. William Wallace's wife is murdered.
Yeah.
And he's burying her, and the parents are crying because they didn't even approve of their marriage and everything. And he kind of just kneels in front of them, and for a second, the dad looks like he just wants to punch him in the face or his head, but instead he just kind of puts his hand on it like he forgives him.
Yeah.
And it's that little subtle nothing was amazing. I mean, I'm not saying obviously copy that moment, but something that subtle would have done a lot.
The camera panning away and we see them having a discussion, but we don't hear it.
Yeah, we don't have to hear it all. I just wish we got to see something.
That's it. You just want to see the shot.
So we've got one more bit with Bucky. Well, not him, but part of his journey. And the therapist arrives in her office and there's like a little gift bag. And in it is the notebook. And it's all been crossed out, all the names, or at least on the page that she opened. They're all crossed out with a note that said, I finished the book. Thanks for all your help, Doc.
Part of me just felt sad that he gave the book away.
I know.
Because that was the only thing I imagine he had of Steve's.
Well, I'm hoping that he ripped out the pages that had some good stuff on them.
Unless those dog tags are still Steve's. I don't know if they're his or Steve's.
They never did say this. I don't think it's ever been addressed.
No.
Now we're back in Maryland.
Maryland cookies.
Oh my God. Why? Why are you doing this?
I really want something sweet right now.
I didn't have a problem with this scene. I just felt like, considering how quickly they brushed through the Bucky stuff, and considering all this stuff's kind of already been said, I just felt like, why are we having this again? I don't have a problem with what happened.
We didn't necessarily have to see it, but I guess they wanted to segue to the exhibit.
I suppose, but...
Whether you necessarily needed a segue to the exhibit...
Anyway, so he goes and... so they're in the garden again, and... He does, I didn't write everything that is said in this scene, but he does call Sam special.
He does call Sam special, but he goes, I mean, you ain't no Malcolm, Martin or Mandela.
Yeah. But yeah, Sam says something really nice in this scene. So, I do forgive it for the fact that there's some really beautiful lines. It was just the fact that there was stuff cut out from Bucky, and I just would have liked more of that. That's all. But he says, we built this country, bled for it. I'm not going to let anyone tell me I can't fight for it. Because, yeah, Isaiah basically tells him that this is going to be tough. This is going to be a hard job for him to do. And Sam even acknowledges that he may die.
But you see, this is the way you say it, Carly. This is your movie.
She needed a speechwriter. But yeah, Sam takes them to the Smithsonian Institute, as we said. And that was a really nice moment because there's now a section of the exhibit that has a statue, a monument to Isaiah Bradley. And it was really sweet. It was sweet.
I cried at this bit.
I didn't cry, but the second time I watched it, I was a bit more emotional about it.
It choked me up. I don't think Isaiah knew what he was expecting when he got taken to the exhibit, especially when they're walking through the Captain America
I don't
bit.
think he's ever been there, though.
No. And then to see Eli's look on his story. So I paused it. I didn't want to read exactly what it had written there, but I thought, I wonder what they've put. Because I just thought they were going to say, he did this and this for the country. I didn't necessarily think they were going to say he had been tested on. So for them to actually put that on the plaque and that touching hug. I
know, because he says to him, like, now they'll never forget what you did for this country. And he just hugs him and you're just like, ooh.
Yeah, that was the bit.
So now we're at the end, basically. We're back in Louisiana. It's a barbecue. Everyone's all fanboying and fangirling over Sam. All the girls all want pictures. Even the men want pictures. He's the hero. His sister's
and he's
so
the talk
proud
of the
him.
town. You got to remember, it's not like this massive place.
Yeah, but it's so lovely because for them, it's like a family member has just done something great. Like, they're just so proud of him.
Cue Bucky with a shop-bought cake. I got way too excited with that cake. I was like, did he just go to Costco or something?
I hope he baked it. But
there will be a bake-off, Bucky.
I did love the shot of him dangling kids on his arm.
Yeah, while he's talking with Sarah as well.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wonder if Sam's just watching on.
It was very Gaston, I thought, that moment.
It was.
Like, he's just this is nothing.
But it also made me happy to see that he's comfortable enough to take the glove off.
Yeah, because he's accepted. He could wear a tight t-shirt too if he wants. Bucky?
Yeah.
We're waiting.
The jeans were tight. I was watching. Shirt needed to be tighter.
Looks like Harper's not just hungry, but she's also thirsty.
Who isn't? Come on.
The music playing, I didn't look up the lyrics, but if anyone liked it, because I did, I was jamming. It's by Curtis Harding. It's called On and On.
I did actually do a teeny bit of research on this. Curtis basically said it's quite a recent song actually.
Oh, is it? It sounds
a few
very
years
old,
ago,
but okay.
like 2014.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of Motown influences.
Okay.
I think it was 2014, 15, something like that. He said he wrote the song with the theme of perseverance.
Nice.
And I thought it fit in well with here, which was nice.
Yeah.
But it was very, very cool tune.
And you have Captain America looking out over this beautiful lake, sea, whatever it is.
At the sunset.
Yeah. Oh, it looked lovely. Seriously, I would like to go to Louisiana.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to Louisiana.
I want to go and stay with his family, though. That looks really nice.
Yeah. I mean, I've purely always wanted to go to Louisiana because I want to try the soul food that everyone says is so amazing. And then you're watching the pies, and I'm like, stop doing this to me.
I'll get so fat there. Anyway, so yeah, Bucky and him both kind of look off at the sunset, all happy. They're family now.
He has a home.
They're buddies now. They're buddies.
Yeah.
They're pals. The BFFs. But and that's when we see the titles come up. But now it says Captain America and the Winter Soldier. See, but don't you think Bucky also needs to have his name changed? Because, I mean, he's not really the Winter Soldier
A lot
anymore.
of people said this.
I don't know what you would want to call him,
But
though.
Captain America and Bucky doesn't sound as cool, does it?
And then we have a mid-credit sequence. Sharon is being pardoned. I actually hardly wrote anything down here because I didn't care. There is one thing I wrote, and that was hashtag not my Agent Carter.
I wrote exactly the same thing in my notes. I also, because I wrote the bit where it says, the Carter name has always been synonymous with service and trust. We begin to set things right, to repay some of the debt that is owed to you. And he offers her a position in our old division, and he says, welcome home, Agent Carter. And in capital letters, I wrote, no.
Well, I mean, what I said
no.
out loud was a lot of swearing.
And then cue the evil slow motion walkout.
Yeah, and she phoned someone, and she's like, I didn't write any of it down, but basically
she says start lining up our buyers.
And she mentions how they no longer have the serum thing, but
they have access to government
secrets
because now
and
she's
in.
weapons.
She's in. But yeah, and it kind of just ends that way. So she's talking to somebody. She's got a plan. And she's a bad person. A bad person who I will never call Agent Carter in my life.
Agent Carter would be turning in her grave. Peggy would be turning in her grave. And I almost wanted to come out as a ghost and slap that bitch. I just want all these bitches to be slapped.
So that's that for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Will it return? Hey, even if it does, that title is now in the past. Thank you so much for joining us for these recaps. It's been a lot of fun.
It really has. Now I think you have heard plenty about what we thought. Now we really want to know what you thought. Head to any one of our socials at Geekly Recap Pod and let us know. Or you can head to our website, geeklyrecap.weebly.com, and get in touch there.
Now what's next for us? Well, we'll be taking a break next week. Among other things, it's also Harbour's birthday weekend.
Why, God, why? You said the others would get old, not me.
We'll be back in 2 weeks with a special episode about Comic-Con. The pandemic has disrupted our lives in so many ways. Comic-Con has been a part of our lives for at least, 10 to 15 years, and missing out on the fun, the community, the cosplay, the celebrities, it's been a bummer.
It has. I really do miss that whole environment. With the possibility of some kind of normalcy coming back this year and the return of Comic-Cons, we thought we'd talk about convention highlights, lowlights, talking about how the pandemic has hit the convention circuit and us fans in particular. Plus, we'll be giving you each of our top 5 Comic-Con celeb moments.
But it's not all about us. We want it to be about you too. Get in touch and tell us your Comic-Con memories. Who is your favourite person to meet? Any funny moments? How were you affected by the pandemic during Comic-Con season? Who did you miss out on meeting?
Aaron Paul. But anyway, we want to know your top 5 celebs you met at a Comic-Con. We'll give it a mention in our next show.
We hope you join us, and don't worry, we'll be back recapping the biggest and best TV shows very soon. See you guys in 2 weeks, in which Harbour will be a year older.
Mother